Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Ball podcast. This is episode 3. It's been a while. We've been doing exams, but we're back on it now, and they'll be coming at you thick and fast. Yeah, I mean, not too much has happened, and by not too much, I mean the European semi-final second legs. The Premier League's gone mad. It's all over the shop, but we'll start with the Premier League. Jamie, what are your thoughts on today's game?
We are recording just after Liverpool have just beaten West Brom with an Alisson goal, and it was beautiful. I was really emotional at the end when he was walking around and he did the interview.
I was emotional as well.
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful. I mean, I'd given up because I was watching it and I thought for the whole game I was like, we're going to win. It feels like we were going to win because we actually played well. Apart from the first 20 minutes, we actually played quite well. And then it got to like the 93rd minute. I was like, all right, I've given up now. And then we went and scored. It was beautiful. Oh, I haven't celebrated a goal that much in a while.
I can imagine. The first thing that came to my head is Jamie must be screaming his head off right now. Like,
I mean, we had to win for like my mental health.
I was celebrating because I just want Chelsea to lose. You know,
exactly.
No one likes Chelsea, so
it just would have made it boring if we didn't put any pressure on them. Because the game tomorrow is like, or whenever it is, the Leicester-Chelsea game is a massive game, and if we don't even put any pressure on them, it's like shit. So it was a massive result.
Even being there.
Yeah. If we don't get it now, I mean,
it's in your hands. All you have to do is win, because against one of Leicester and Chelsea is going to drop points.
Yeah,
one of them, but. Is it going to be a classic Liverpool and it's going to kind of bottle it? I mean, it was so close just being finished today. You shouldn't you shouldn't have won. I mean, 95th minute, they shouldn't be conceding a corner there. It's mental. I mean, Robson Kanu missed about 2 1-on-1s as well, didn't they? I saw he had some easy chances. You had your little Shaqiri running about doing piss all for the whole time.
I like Shaqiri. No, Shaqiri, he played... No, he didn't play that well. But no, Thiago. Thiago. What a footballer Thiago is.
Baller.
So beautiful.
Absolutely.
Trent is magnificent. He's taking his games to like the next level. Like even like the last 2 seasons, he was like still a right back, and he was most of his assists were like crosses and things. This season, he looks like an attacking midfielder. He just steps into midfield. He can play any pass. He's so good.
Has he firmly put his starting spot in and at the England team for the Euros?
I think Walker will probably start, and it's not necessary. Walker's good as well, and probably more solid defensively. I don't know.
I'd agree with that. I'd definitely agree with that.
There's no doubt Trent's a better player and will more creative and things. But if you want a solid team, you maybe go for Walker. Pace as well.
Yeah.
I mean, any other? I'm trying to think. What other Premier League games happened? You got Spurs winning today, Jim. How was that?
It was okay. It was a decent game. We played pretty well actually. We played good attacking football, which obviously we haven't seen much this season. But yeah, it was pretty good. Dele Alli was all right. I mean,
that's a surprise.
There's slightly over top like reactions to his performance. Like the only annoying thing about it was Gary Neville giving Connor Cody the man of the match.
Oh,
like, what was that about?
Actually, what
they gave him man of the match.
Just because he's a mate and they have a little bit of a laugh.
I know. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I thought that was a rule where you lose the game, you can't be given man of the match. Like,
does that ever happen or something? That's unreal.
I mean, and Højbjerg, who I thought was the best player on the pitch, who got the assist
goal as
well.
Goal.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
What more do you have to do? No,
and he didn't even consider him. It was only Dele Alli, who I thought was all right, but you know, it was a standard performance from him. I thought Højbjerg was definitely the best player on the pitch, but you know, it wasn't a great game. Yeah. It was a bit of a bore fest, I can't lie.
Yeah, now going to your Man United roots, Jim, what do you think of the 4-2 the other day?
Well, I think Jamie would like to talk about that as well. But yeah, I mean, I think they were a bit like, from what I saw from the United game, was a bit like, oh, we've had chances to beat Liverpool and then we beat them in the FA Cup. They probably got a little bit cocky, started thinking, you know, we're the better team here. and I think Liverpool gave them a bit of humble pie. I think.
Yeah,
So.
that was really, really good fun as well. Like, yeah, first 20 minutes we were poor, but apart from that, we just ran them off the pitch. Fred was awful. He just kept giving us the ball. They didn't play well.
Fred
Fred
is
and
awful.
McTominay.
I've been telling you this.
That
Fred is crap.
pivot is not.
It's
I
not
like
it.
McTominay. I'm standing with it, but Fred is bang average. Look, I will be proven right. McTominay is a good player.
I think Fred offers more than McTominay.
No,
I think at least
Fred.
I think at least Fred like is a bit tenacious and gets himself about.
No, I think
McTominay
most
is
of the time.
useless.
No, most of the time McTominay is really like secure. He won't lose the ball. He's not brilliant, but I think he's a good player. I like McTominay.
I'd take McTominay over Fred, just for that like massiveness. He's just huge. Bit of presence in it. Fred is just crap. I mean, he did dunk on Spurs, but he's a bit crap.
Yeah,
I can't believe that. I mean, yeah, that's like I enjoyed that Liverpool game. I thought it was one of the better ones this season, but I just can't help but think these last two Liverpool games, if they had fans, they'd be classics. They'd be Liverpool classics, but neither of them had them. I mean, you've got bloody Salah scoring a fourth in the 90th minute in front of the away end at Old Trafford. I mean, that's outrageous. It's like that Torres one a couple of years back. There was some blokes screaming in fan zones. And then, I mean, we have just seen Liverpool's goalkeeper score a winner in the 95th minute, and there's no one in the ground to start going mental over it.
Yeah. I mean, it's
unbelievable.
So sad. Like that Leicester final, the fans made such a difference. Like, it just adds another dynamic to the game.
Oh,
when
yeah.
We're celebrating a throw-in, and it gets you excited. It makes it so much more interesting.
Yeah. I think that's a good segue, actually, into the FA Cup. The final, what do we think?
Amazing. Loved it.
Best game of football,
especially the fans being there. That second half, like that, I mean, that last, 20 minutes of the game was just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
That Tielemans goal, and the VAR decision, I haven't celebrated that much.
Celebrated, I'm not sure about. I'm not sure about celebrating.
No, I went mental. When
I did
Tielemans
celebrate
scored, I went
goal.
mental. Like, what a goal. What a goal. They just,
It
their whole
was
club deserves it, though. Like, I think their whole club are just brilliant, to be honest. And they're a lot of teams.
I understand.
A lot of teams should look at them.
Yeah, they're a good model.
But
there's this massive Leicester circle jerk all over the internet, and it's happened so much for the last few years now that I just don't like them anymore.
If a team and a club,
second favourite team, they're my second favourite
so they should. If a club is well run, we have a go at all of the top six owners for not being well run and not putting money in. And look at what Leicester are doing. They are the model for other top six clubs to actually, have a connection with the fans, put money into the club, and just run a club well. And that's what they've done. And I think they deserve a lot of credit.
Do they put money in, or is it them just selling players for extortionate prices just because they're performing well?
They just bought Samari for like 23 million quid.
Because
that's a brilliant deal.
Yeah, because they sell Maguire for 80 million, they sell Chilwell for 50 million.
Yeah.
But they reinvest that money though.
I feel like most. Yeah, I don't know.
Most clubs reinvest the money they.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's. They're just really their scouting is really good. Like the miracle of winning the league was quite entertaining. And to be fair, they could have easily just dropped off after winning the league.
Yeah, exactly.
They did for like 2 years, didn't they? For the next 2 seasons, they were a bit poor.
Leicester have a habit of
fantastic.
They have a habit of like losing a player, and then suddenly there's just a player there already that was there for 2 years. Like Sionchu was there for 2 years, and he just replaced Maguire.
Justin was he? No, he signed in the same. Signed in the 18. He signed in the 18-19 season. Yeah. Arsenal were going to sign him.
Even like Ian Atto now.
Yeah, he's been there for like
going out,
4 years
and suddenly
now?
Really
4 or 5 years.
They've got a really good model.
Ian Atto's come out of nowhere. I just can't believe it.
But like, I mean, he had a poor game, but
he
was so bad actually.
Yeah, that first half.
You did see he did touch it round Thiago Silva. It did look like he's through on goal, but he handballed it. So it's.
What do we think of the Perez handball just before
it's rubbish. It's bounced off his knee and hit his arm. What's he supposed to do?
Yeah.
Just Chelsea fans finding something to cry about. Like, I know most fans would be annoyed by it, but like,
I don't even think it was that debatable. It's like
Did it
was close to his body. It deflected off his knee. I think that was fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see Chelsea lose, though. I mean, that's all three of us have that in common. No one likes seeing them win, and so this collapse they're going to have is going to be gorgeous. You know, no top four, no Champions League, no FA Cup. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Chilwell scoring the winner against
he didn't
Sol
score
Club.
it though. It was Wes Morgan scored an own
Well,
goal.
you know, like, he celebrated against his old club, and then he got disallowed. That was brilliant. I really like that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if anyone deserves misfortune, it's Chelsea. No manager should be able to come in and take them to like a third place finish, Champions League, and win an FA Cup. It's not fair. It's not fair.
Well, that's sort of why I don't want them to win the Champions League, because they've just, like, at least City are the best team in Europe, whereas Chelsea are just, they sacked their club legend and brought in their good manager, and now they're going to win the Champions League. That's so
it's not. Arteta's sussed them out, mate. He has caused the collapse of Chelsea Football Club, and it's something that people need to appreciate. However, I'm still not the biggest fan of that guy, but we'll talk about him later. Right now, just keep going with it. You know, I mean, I don't know what it was about Chelsea. First half, I thought there were plenty of chances to kind of get a goal. I mean, they were free on the break. They're through on the break so many times, but they kept just like banging long shots or something instead of looking for a pass.
A bit toothless, I'd say.
Yeah,
like they need a number 9.
Yeah,
they broke through. How many times did they break through? They were through so many times, and they just didn't do anything with it. Bloody, I think slamming long shots. Timo Werner rolling at the keeper. It's like
they struggle when they go 1-0 down. They're really good when they go 1 up and they can just stay solid, have 5 men behind the ball, and just use their like good players. But if they need to chase a game with 5 at the back, they're not effective.
They have the players to do it, though. I'm not being funny.
I mean,
what club can sub on? What club can sub on the arguably best super sub in like modern history, being Olivier Giroud, then have all these other players, Chilwell to come on, Havertz, Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi. I mean, he didn't even have Tammy Abraham in the squad, and that's someone that you'd sub on if you're losing a game and need a goal. Target, man.
We had like Woodburn and Billy Cometio on our bench. Our best sub was Wijnaldum. It's not impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea have so many options. It's just, I feel like their players are quite spineless. They can be. Haven't been recently. It's just going to sound like I'm making it sound like they're shit. They're not. But in that game, I don't know what it is. There's something about that team and kind of, I don't want to say big occasions because they won the Champions League semi-final, but it's final. I don't know. Wembley's not really their stomping ground.
I think there's a bit of a softness to their signings. A bit of a softness to their signings. I think
they're young.
They're young. Inexperienced as well. I think a little of the combination of that and the fact that Leicester I thought were absolutely brilliant.
Oh yeah,
especially in the second half. They were brilliant.
They were fantastic.
They took the game to Chelsea.
They were better in every single position. I mean, I'm not even funny. That's probably one of the best goalkeeping performances in the second half I've seen in the cup final ever.
He's criminally underrated.
Both of them, just outrageous.
Yeah,
in terms of shot stopping, he's up there.
And his distribution's fine as well. He's good with his feet as well. He's a really good keeper.
I mean, apart from I'm not going to say apart, because they're massive saves. Like Chelsea, apart from those right at the end, they didn't really test him at all in the second half either, or in the first half. To be honest, because they just kept shooting and just weren't working, and then Leicester actually kind of playing football. But I feel like neither team really threatened each other all too much, apart from the last 10 minutes from Chelsea. It was we got when you actually look at it on the surface. Although Leicester were massively better than them, they didn't break them down. It was just a wonder strike.
But no.
It was
they didn't have loads of chances.
But it was just a Gerrard goal. It was just a top corner.
It was a goal. It was a goal fit for winning an FA Cup final.
It was.
I've seen people say though Mendy would have saved that. I mean, I'm not really sure that's how it works. I don't think he may have been stood in a different.
This is why Chelsea fans are weirdos. Honestly.
Yeah.
Putting the blame on Kepa just because it's like he's just an easy scapegoat. When he's not saving that, he's right in the top corner. It's a brilliant goal. Just just blame your toothless attackers that can't fucking finish. Like, blame them. Don't blame a keeper
VAR,
who's,
as they like to do.
Couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, all that. They'll blame that as well.
Did you think it was offside? You lot?
Well, when I first saw it, you could see in the line of like
Offside.
you could see with your eyes it was offside because of the line of the box. He was closer to the line of the box than the defender was. So I was like, yeah, that is offside.
Yeah. And they're still complaining about it. I mean, it was fine margin, but
yeah.
Did the liner didn't spot it, did he?
It's difficult. I don't really know what the solution is to like those VAR off cycles.
There's got to be some sort of like leeway where it's like a couple of, I don't know how they'd measure it, but like a fair distance.
But where do you,
although that was offside,
but where do you draw the line?
I don't know. See, although it was offside. Did it give him an advantage in any sort of way?
No, that's true.
No.
That's what my dad says. My dad says if they have to get the lines out, if it's not clear enough and they have to get the lines out to check, then it's not a big enough advantage and just play on. Just do whatever the linesman gave.
Just benefit the attacker, I suppose.
I like to think how different like the league and the football would look this season if they didn't get out the line.
Well, according to Arsenal fans, you'd be in like the top four.
Well, I'm not even funny. That Everton one the other week, that Pepe one, looked in line to me. Then Leno went, I don't even want to talk about
Did you see
that.
the Harry Kane one last week?
No.
Did you see the Harry Kane one last week? That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, it actually wasn't offside.
It would look so different.
He was literally on.
If Liverpool would have had that last minute winner against Everton, they'd be in top four right now.
Well, we've had loads go against us, like last minute decisions, horrible things. That Everton one, I'm still not recovered from that game. That was awful.
That was the PTSD to watching Van Dijk get snapped in half.
Also, when Henderson winner in the Merseyside derby, I went mental. And then I was just sitting there, just embarrassed because it got disallowed. That was awful.
What are you embarrassed of?
Because I just went mental, and then it was just embarrassing.
I mean, luckily we haven't really had to deal with many like Arsenal has some shit decisions, but none like as heartbreaking as that, like a 90th minute winner disallowed.
I mean, that Chilwell celebration yesterday did give me like Raheem Sterling vibes in the quarterfinal Champions League. Like there was a tweet.
Celebration
it was so similar to like them doing a knee slide. Everyone's celebrating.
Made me laugh.
Yeah, we have had VAR benefit us quite a few times as well. So
VAR, my lord, VAR.
No, we started that. So.
I don't think I've ever seen VAR benefit Arsenal in any way whatsoever. But there's not much we can really do about that one. I mean. VAR's a touchy subject. Quick thing, would you guys get rid of VAR if you had the chance? Starting from next season, would you?
I wouldn't
get rid of VAR.
I'd change it, but I think people forget how annoying it was when like Chelsea Cardiff one.
Yeah, where sent them down.
There was ridiculous decisions, and we have videos. You know, I think it needs to be used better, but. I think it's fine. I think people are trying to have a go at VAR. So sometimes VAR will give the right decision, or they'll just let the play go, and then everyone likes to complain and have a discussion point. So they blame VAR. But usually it's mostly okay, apart from like offsides and penalties and stuff.
What if instead of VAR, they had a lino on both sides of the pitch for both halves, so that if one lino couldn't see it, the other one does.
I mean, it's still like there is still a possibility of human error. You know, like.
I know. I mean, VAR still though. That still is human error. I mean, some of them they're like.
Oh yeah. I mean,
there's people drawing the lines. If it was robots, fair enough, but it's not. Yeah. It's literal people going. They're just looking at these lines where no one can tell the difference of what's on and what's off, and they draw lines in random places, just saying that'll do, and then they go, he's offside. Also, how do they? A lot of the time, they don't even judge properly when the ball's left the player's foot. For the pass or whatever. Sometimes it's still at his foot and they'll call him offside, and it's just what are they doing?
Like I see both sides of VAR. I think, the old-fashioned fan probably hates it and wants, football to be great again and all that, but there is
Make
benefits to it
football
as
great
well
again.
because
Yeah.
The stakes, I feel like the stakes are too high. If you're in a Champions League final and you
Yeah.
have an awful decision that costs you it, then although
Yeah,
it is frustrating.
now we've
at
got
times.
it, I don't think it will ever go away.
No, I don't think so.
Because it can't. People complain regardless. So
Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone has their own agenda. Everyone wants their team to win. So whatever it is,
yeah,
there's no objectively right decision because if I see a Liverpool foul, then I'd think it's different to if it's the other
Yeah.
team.
I mean, it is a bit like the Chelsea thing. I will say, everyone's been saying on Twitter, including myself, that they're just crying for the sake of it. Like, just get on with
Yeah,
it.
if that was me.
But if that was me, I probably would be crying, going, "Oh, he's handballed
Yeah.
it." So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, there's not too much like.
Yeah, but could you imagine if they took that goal away, like the celebration, the goal, like how it went in as well. Just
Yeah, I know.
if they took that away,
I don't know. I quite enjoy watching penalties, so I haven't seen a penalty out in ages.
as long as Leicester were to win, yeah, like maybe seeing like I don't know. What's a Chelsea player that no one likes? Like Rudiger, like slip over and sky it and Leicester win.
Yeah.
Like
Mason
that would be
Mount.
good.
Oh my
Or
god,
Mount.
Twitter going to Mount.
Don't
That
talk
would be
about
brilliant.
Mason Mount like that. I like Mason Mount.
I
Everyone
rate
start
Mount, but that
crying
would
their
be funny
eyes
to
out.
see.
Actually, it would be
John-
quite funny.
John Terry-esque. He went a bit missing, Mason Mount, that second half, didn't he? Had that
He
chance.
did.
But
Did. Yeah.
didn't
They
really
all
do
did though.
too
It
much.
wasn't like a brilliant, like they weren't sieging Leicester's goal at all. It was just sort of tame, try and create a chance.
It was nothing. I mean, when it's 2 games now in a row where Tuchel's faced another 3 at the back, and he's lost both times.
This is gonna make Pep's mind go like crazy. He's gonna start putting 3 at the backs, like flashbacks to like Leon. Oh god, no, he better not do that. That'd be awful.
I don't know what does Pep do. Yeah, we'll move on to
keep it simple.
Stick to his game plan. I think.
Yeah.
Don't go for it. Yeah.
Make Chelsea
what they've been doing all season.
Yeah, make Chelsea change to him. But I mean, because Chelsea beat City the other day, didn't they?
They played a slightly different system, City, to what they usually do. It was weird. It was literally like Rodri on his own in midfield. And
and then it was like, it was outrageous.
What a freak. Yeah.
Yeah. I think as long as Pep doesn't overthink it, I think City should have it in the bag.
Yeah.
You both want City, don't you?
So. Yes.
Yeah, we all want City. But I think before we move on to like the final in depth, let's go back to the semi-finals quick because we covered the first leg. We haven't covered the second leg because it's been 2 weeks. We'll start with the Chelsea one. Just put Madrid out there misery.
So after slating Chelsea, we've got to now praise them.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very professional.
They were great. They were, they were good, to be fair. Like they were really good, and
Madrid did nothing. It was simple as really. What was the
score?
Well,
2-0. Yeah, 2-0.
I said when we had Madrid's, they're a beatable team. If we put in a competent performance against Madrid, I think we would have gone through, but we were so bad in that first leg. Yeah. They're not that good.
Now I think about it, they were poor. They look like an aging side that coming to an end like really much. I mean, that midfield, there's nothing.
I mean, they're quality players in terms of like technical ability, but you can
Although, the thing is as well is, I know it sounds naff, but speed is quite important in the modern game. Bit of pace. Yeah. I'm not sure you're getting that from Modric, Kroos, Casemiro, and Benzema up front. Who's
their only runner is Vinicius.
Yeah,
he's literally the only one that runs in behind. Everyone else comes short.
Yeah, well, they all wanted it to feet as well, and it was just it was frustrating to watch. I was just like, Chelsea have this.
And Kante just had one absolute string.
Kante was really brilliant. He was so good.
Entire 2 legs.
Yeah.
If you can overrun that midfield, then I guess because as well as I watched both legs, they just do a bit poor. They didn't really seem on it, to be honest, especially the midfielders. They're players you expected, like no matter what, be like proper class. But I don't know. It's got how you getting bossed by Jorginho. I think Jorginho is great, but you should not have Luka Modric Tony Kroos and Casemiro struggling against Jorginho. It's just an odd one. Shows what happens since they've lost Ronaldo. They've just been on a. I know they won the Liga last season, and they have a chance to win it this season if Madrid lose the next week because they won and Luis Suarez scored in the 88th minute to keep her in top of the league, but it's just declining Madrid, and Zidane's leaving at the end of the season, ain't he?
Yeah, I saw they might get Allegri, but the thing is with Real Madrid, they got so much money. Well, maybe not as much now, but they're such a massive club. They will just come back. Everyone still wants to go to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So
see, Barcelona bottled it today as well. Quickly lost 2-1 Celta Vigo.
Yeah,
it's great. I hate Barcelona. I like Messi.
They're
Barcelona.
out of it now, aren't they? They're like
I think so. Yeah,
out of it. So
they drew. They haven't won in their last 3, and
jobs.
it's like absolute bottle jobs. Messi's no help for that poor young man. You know, he does all he can. Messi's the GOAT, but he's shit club around him. I'll never forget all of the games they've bummed us. But I'm not a big fan of Barcelona, so I hope Atletico win the league. You know,
yeah, I hope so as well. Actually,
it'd be nice. But yeah, I mean, we said pretty much talked enough about Chelsea for the time being. So let's move on to City's semi-final second leg, demolition of Paris Saint-Germain. What do we think of that one?
Very, very good. They were good. They were class. It was more like, obviously they're always good going forward, but it was the first time we actually saw like, you know, a resolute defensive performance from them. You know, it was spirited. Like you could really feel it when like Diaz, Zinchenko were just like making blocks, Fernandinho, who was just picking up these tactical fouls, which was so good. And then sort of towards the end, PSG sort of threw their toys out the pram, started to lose their heads. And
PSG, they're just their mentality's worse than Arsenal and Spurs, for God's sake.
It stinks, to be honest.
The tiniest bit of adversity they have to face, and they straight away just go, "I want a red card now," and then just stop playing football. It's so weird.
Mean, Verratti should have been off. Like there were about 3 or 4 awful tackles that he made. It was just like as soon as they knew that they weren't winning the game, they just sort of lost their heads. And I sort of felt for Pochettino, to be honest, because it's one of them jobs where it's like there's such an ego within that club. There's full of egos, and Pochettino's like you see Tottenham, Southampton. These are teams that are like there's not really any egos in there. And he's gone into a job like PSG, which is like the other end of the scale. And I don't know. I'm a bit worried for him in the future because he's going to have to like.
I don't think it will be long until he gets sacked, unless they really just kind of power through Europe next season. I mean,
I honestly think about selling one of Mbappe or Neymar because.
Well, Neymar signed a contract, doesn't he?
Trying to deal with both of them when I think Pochettino would look at that and think, "Oh, right, I can get money for one of those players and then reinvest it in players that he likes, players that aren't, you know, have this big ego."
Their attack is fantastic. I don't even know if it's about egos. Their defenders just aren't good, and they have some poor midfielders.
I don't know.
No, Marquinhos is fantastic. I'd love him at Arsenal. I think he's like my dream signing. But the rest of them, who is Baka? Who is this guy they have a right back?
I think they are good, and their midfield is good, but
Verratti's good.
I think it just comes down. I do think it comes down to them just coming up against a better team, because you know they were good in spells. Like the first half of the first leg, they were brilliant. They were playing some amazing football, and they did play quite well. It's just Man City were better over the course of the 2 legs, but I think
it can't be too harsh. They got to the Champions League final last year as well.
They're a good team, but I think there is a serious ego issue.
I think we need to give City some credit though as well.
Yeah, do they? They've had enough.
What are you saying about Mbappe, Jamie?
I was going to say he's got 1 year left on his contract after this, so if you're going to sell him, it should be this summer. To Liverpool, probably.
Or to Arsenal. You know, make the dream come true. Bring him home.
I'm not even going to try and offer up Spurs. no point.
The invincible
swap deal?
juice. Yeah.
Yeah, or yeah, that would be the
Son.
only
Give
way.
him
but-
Son and Serge Aurier. That's a
I
fair
mean,
deal.
Well, there's talk about Aurier going to PSG. To be fair,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
What do we think of the Mahrez masterclass as well? This guy's one of my favourite players. Absolutely love him, man.
he was good.
2016.
He was very good.
When he was linked to Arsenal a couple years back, I wanted this guy so bad. Never happened, and now look at him, Champions League finalist, probably going to win it, which is great.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, let's move on to the final. So, Champions League final. What do we think, preview wise?
I think City will win.
Yeah, still City for me. I think they'll have too much for this inexperienced sort of Chelsea side who are not who have already lost one final, and I think they'll be losing another one. Hopefully,
It seems to be building towards that. The fact that it's unlikely that they beat them 3 times because they beat them in the FA Cup, the league. It's just unlikely they beat them 3 times. Also, they're starting to a dip in form now, so it just feels a bit like City will just win. Although City aren't in that great form.
Do you think if Leicester beat them, is it on Tuesday they're playing? If Leicester beat them, do you think that'll kind of kill off the Chelsea team? That'll be 3 defeats in a row, and can they come back from that?
I don't think Leicester will beat them because, again, it's unlikely that Leicester will beat them twice in a week, especially after the back of celebrating an FA Cup win. I think probably Chelsea will win.
Yeah, I think so as well. I agree.
Yeah. Champions League final, though, what kind of are we saying? City thumping, close game, extra time, penalties, what?
You don't know. You can never say, because obviously can't rule out Chelsea because obviously they have been brilliant in the Champions League. So it's not it never usually is a thrashing, and I don't think it will be. I think it might be a cagey sort of final. Tuchel will obviously sit back a little bit. I think Pep will obviously have the ball, City, but it's just if Chelsea can defend well how they did against City last week, then they could have a shot. But that was a properly changed City team, so
Yeah, I mean, people moan about City's second team still costs more than Chelsea's first team. But that's not the point. The whole point is they're the second team because they're not playing as well as the first team. If you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but it is still the point that their second team is still full of world-class players.
Yeah, but it's their second team for a reason, though. It's like,
and a lot
they're
of
not going to be
signings
as good as their first team.
Yeah,
Otherwise, they'd be in the
right.
first team.
Yeah. But yeah, I think City. I reckon City will have just about too much. I think it's their time. They're gonna win it at some point. So
yeah, I
and
mean,
also it may as well be now when no one really cares.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Written in the
If they're gonna
stars
win it,
for
no fans in the
Aguero.
stadium.
Yeah.
Aguero's leaving at the end of the season, and he said a couple of years back, "I'm not leaving City
that's
till
a
I
bit
win the
annoying, actually.
Champions League," and it's just like perfectly set up for his last ever game. He probably won't get on the pitch.
He won't get on the pitch.
Unless they're thumping him like 3-0, then they'll bring him on out of pity. But apart from that, yeah, you probably won't get on the pitch. But it'd be nice to see him lift the cup.
Pep Guardiola loses his head, plays
he
like a
starts
back
him,
three,
or there's some
and then,
injury really early on,
and then like 2 strikers like Jesus and Aguero up front, does like a back three.
Wouldn't it be like poetic justice though for Aguero to score a last-minute winner in the Champions League final?
That would be great.
It's like a carbon copy of the 2012 Premier League.
It's too much.
And then join Chelsea a month later. That would be fun as well.
Yeah.
I reckon he's going to go to like Barcelona or something if he doesn't go to Argentina.
I think so.
Probably makes sense.
Play with Lionel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Tuchel, he lost in the last Champions League final though, so he could be looking to rectify that this season. He could be going, do you know what? I'm not going to lose this time round. But
I'm sure.
I think it makes me laugh. Like, PSG did City and Chelsea, in a sense, a massive favour in knocking out Bayern Munich. Because I think if Bayern Munich were
Yeah.
to get past PSG, they probably would have won the whole thing. Because
Maybe. I still don't think they're not that
they
good.
didn't have Lewandowski in either of those
Yeah.
PSG games. You put him in there, especially in that first leg where they had about 1 million shots, they win like 4-0. I'm not being
know,
funny.
I'm stuck with City, so I'm really hoping that they win it now because I've stuck with it.
I'm not really hoping. I just prefer them to win it than Chelsea.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly going to be cheering wearing sky blue the whole day, but you might.
I really don't like Chelsea. So
I don't think anyone does.
but I hate them.
I mean, we've spent about 40 minutes just slagging off Chelsea at
Yes.
this point. So
Yes.
I think that's
Make that the
fitting,
title.
I think that's a fitting point to move on, slagging off Arsenal instead.
Oh, yes.
Awful.
This is a great
awful.
episode.
Arteta out, are we?
That night I was,
Poorly.
but then I calmed down 2 weeks later. I'll give him half a season. Yeah, next half of the season. If there's sufficient back-in from Kroenke, which I doubt there will be, but if he does, I'm still going to be Kroenke out regardless. But if he does, fair enough. But then if Arteta signs the players he wants, I'll give him until December. If we're performing, yeah. I mean, if we're in the same sort of position, 9th, 8th, he's got to go. I'm not being funny. You can't consistently finish. Say we finish 8th this season, 7th last season. No, we finished 8th last season as well. 8th, and then we finished 9th, and then we're down in 10th next season. It's just getting worse and worse. And not being able to break down Villarreal, managed by Unai Emery at home. We hit the post, yeah, but not spending a whole 90 minutes just fucking crossing the ball in when it doesn't work whatsoever, when the people crossing in the ball fucking Hector Bellerin, and you have a Tierney who's bloody on one leg. He's just come back in the squad because Xhaka got injured. He refuses to switch. He just keeps doing this bloody overlap or underlap and then a shit cross into the box. When the times we've played well this season is when we've actually played the ball through the middle and we've done a little bit of interplay. Whatever. It's just it seems like he's refusing to learn, but hopefully he's kind of just thought since then, I'm going to turn the page and actually take into account some of these fucking losses we've had, because he hasn't been doing that. We're losing and then he's just doing the same thing.
Yeah, I thought it would have been the final nail in the coffin, that result. You know, Unai Emery
it was
coming back
that night,
to the Emirates, like that's symbolic. Like,
yeah,
seriously, that's
the only problem though.
Coming back and winning, well, not winning the game, but like winning the leg, the overall tie is just,
it's unbelievable.
That's like,
the problem is, Arteta might not be the right man, but there's no clear world-class candidate that's gonna. You haven't got a good squad, so you're gonna need a really, really, really good manager to get anywhere near where your ambitions are. So if you just let Arteta trust in the process, and then if it keeps going bad and there's a clear person available, like with Lampard and Tuchel in a way, there was someone clearly available that you knew would do a better job. Whereas who are you going to get? Allegri? It's like,
I don't know, but this team, like this 11 is not 9th in the league quality.
No, it's not exactly. No. It's at least like 6th place, like minimum.
6th, 7th.
I'm not being told that West Ham have a better squad than Arsenal.
Yeah, they don't.
They just play better as a team.
I think it's probably the 7th best squad that you've got, because I reckon Leicester have a better and the other top 5.
I mean, Leicester's midfield, I'd say, is honestly one of top 4 in the league, especially with this new guy they've signed. I don't think you're going to get a much better kind of midfield than Tielemans and Didi, Maddison. I mean, I'd say the only teams that can really say they have better is Chelsea and Man City. I mean, McFred certainly. McFred. Liverpool.
I would still put Liverpool in.
Yeah, I forgot. I just forgot they existed. McFred is nowhere near better than Tielemans and Ndidi. Let's be honest. Pogba's great, but
Højbjerg and Ndombele, Lo Celso, Dele Alli. Guys, come on. Harry Winks.
Let's not take the piss here.
No, let's not. Yeah,
the only guy that can chat to that Leicester midfield is El Neni. That guy is the best footballer on the planet. But
you're a bit
yeah.
you have some
we
good
need
players, but you have
major
idiots.
investment. But it seems
Exactly.
like
you
in the
have
summer,
idiots.
it seems like in the summer, Louise is gone, Willian's
That's
going.
good.
Is that good though?
Shaka's
Is
Louise
being gone good?
I don't know. It shows he's decided to leave, so it's not us forcing him.
Right.
Because I would have kept him for another season because he's
See,
right, but he makes a few mistakes.
I would have thought that he's like
kept
not
him.
at the top of the list.
Willian's going to leave. This is all players they've decided they want to leave themselves, though. We're not pushing any of them out. Willian, Xhaka, Bellerin, praise the Lord.
Xhaka.
And I think Leno as well. Xhaka, I think it's a Xhaka. It's a weird one. I don't think he's the man if we want to push on and like win, like big things.
Yeah, he's not going to win.
But I don't think he's most certainly not the problem at the moment.
No.
So he's not a priority selling him. Maybe a year or two down the line, but not right now. Right now,
you've also got to think of like who's actually
available.
Valuable as well.
Oh, valuable.
Like,
I mean,
who's going to get
some money?
Who are you going to get money for? Because
we'll get money for Bellerin. PSG will buy him for like 20 million.
Yeah, I think someone like Bellerin is.
At the moment, we're kind of sitting on a gold mine in Joe Willock, where homegrown player, goal scoring midfielder, so hard to come across. We could easily get like 35 million for him if we really played our cards right.
35.
You're telling me Liverpool, you got 20 million. You got 20 million for Brewster. You're telling me we can't get 35 million for Willock?
No way.
35 million, Louis.
This is rubbish.
You'd be lucky to get 10.
You're dumb. You're dumb.
He's got 6 goals in the league, and he's played since January. Of course,
you just said it. He's got 6 goals.
What is happening?
Jesse Lingard's only got about 9.
35 million. What are you saying?
What am I hearing?
Is like he's like 21. Wait, hold on. How much did they spend on Joe Linton? How much did Newcastle spend on Joe Linton? How much did they spend on Joe Linton? 40 million. 40 million.
No. What is going on?
I'm not taking the piss.
In the COVID market, they do not have the money to invest.
In the market before, you would get 15 million. In the COVID market, you'd be lucky to get 10. They just want another loan for him.
35 million.
You sold Brewster for 20 million.
But he's Champions tax. We were the champions of England. We're Liverpool. Brewster scored 20 goals in the Championship.
Willock's literally, he's got 5 in the last 5.
But we're Liverpool.
Tell me the goal. Name me all the goal scorers
Brewster,
in the Premier League.
Brewster got the golden boot in under 20s the under 17s World Cup. Brewster's one of the highest.
Outrageous. Willock's
he was one of the highest rated talents in England.
Wow.
What makes you think that Newcastle United have got 30 million or 35 million?
If they did have it, don't spend it on Joe Willock. Buy an
They've
actual
offered at least. They
footballer.
said like they'll spend at least like 25 on him. I just think Arsenal should get more for him.
According to who?
According to who?
I'm not being funny.
They've said.
I'm not being funny. This guy, you're really if we do end up selling him, it'll be for more than you think. I'll tell you that now for a fact.
You are not getting. I categorically promise you right now, you are not getting more than 15 million.
I bet you 35 million. It'll be less than 35 million.
Oh my God, we are selling Serge Aurier for 8 million. You're not getting.
Is Serge Aurier a 21-year-old English midfielder that scores goals in the Premier League?
He's had a couple of sub-appearances that have been all right. He's got a couple of goals.
This is the point. It's his
form
has driven his price up.
Oh my God.
His form has driven his price up.
A couple of goals does not drive your price up.
Million on someone.
No.
He doesn't start for them.
I'm not oh my God, if this doesn't spark, like...
I'm not having this.
We need to clip this up and make another YouTube video.
Speak to anyone on any Arsenal fan on Twitter, they'll tell you the same thing.
Yes, Arsenal fan. It's not the barometer of intelligence.
We sold Iwobi for 35 million. We sold Oxlade-Chamberlain for 35 million. Why can't we get 35 million for Willock?
Okay.
He's awful.
Joe Willock is pre-COVID.
Yes,
that was pre-COVID.
No one understands that. Why would teams? Right. First of all, Newcastle are going to offer you another loan. That's what they're going to do because they have. No one has money. No one has the money to spend 30 million on players like Joe Willock. No offense.
We spent 30 million on Thiago.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
like no one has the money during now.
How much did Villa buy Tyrone Mings for?
I don't know. I have no idea. But that was ages ago. You're not literally not understanding.
It wasn't that much.
The difference
30 million.
COVID is going to be. Like, it's huge. The market is just, it's going to drop. Newcastle would rather genuinely
25 million for Tyrone Mings.
And you think you get
I don't know.
35?
I don't know what that means.
At least, like,
Okay,
at least
that's a
it should
player
be
for a price. What are you
a
saying?
minimum of like 25 for Willock. I'm not being funny.
He is not worth 25 million.
Do you know what?
You're right.
He's
Liverpool
not.
would get 25 million out of him. Maybe not in COVID, but before COVID, Liverpool would have got that much.
Exactly.
But
This
he's
is
not
what
worth it, and it would be anyone who does that is an idiot.
Jamie,
you
is
see
Willock
how
worth 25 million?
how reckless
No.
Newcastle
No.
are
He's
with
not.
money. You see how reckless they are with money.
Exactly. So none
why
of these
wouldn't
clubs
they
are gonna
spend
do
on
the
him?
same?
Why
They're
wouldn't
not
they spend on him?
stupid. They are not stupid. They are really not stupid.
Do you know what?
These clubs are not. They're not stupid enough
Do you know
to
what?
pay over 15 million for Joe Willock. They are.
15.
If you got 15 million, you should be gassed. You should be happy about that. You should be gassed about that. And any Arsenal fan on Twitter that thinks you're getting more than 15 million for Joe Willock, you need your head like checked, because that is utter garbage. The guy's not proved himself. He hasn't proved himself for Arsenal. He's had a couple of good sub appearances for Newcastle. What else has he done?
Doesn't fucking matter, does it? Joe Linton played for like one season and sold for 40 million. Brewster's never even played in the Premier League and they got 25, 20 for him.
I'm not being funny, but Brewster was quite highly rated. Joe Willock, who rates Joe Willock? I'm sorry.
Newcastle fans for certain do.
But not for 35 million. Not for 35 million.
Listen,
not even for 25 million. They would not pay that. They would never pay that. And if they do, more for them. And I hope they get relegated. Because like,
money is no object to these football teams. You've seen the inflation that's happened with these players nowadays and how much they're selling for. So don't be surprised if they get over 30 million for Joe Willock. That's all I'm saying.
There's inflation, and then there's Joe Willock for 35 million.
That's all I'm saying. Don't be surprised.
Over 30. No, Louis. I bet however much he sells for, if it's more than 35 million, I'll pay you that. If he sells for 40 million, I'll give you 40 million.
No, it won't be 40. 35 is maybe a bit too much. Maybe like 30. But
30 is huge. 30 million.
It will be over 20. I'm telling you that for certain.
Kyle Walker-Peters cost, if I'm correct, 12 million.
No,
and
it was a swap deal with Højbjerg.
Yeah, no, but it was. We paid 14 million for Højbjerg, I think, and we had to give them. Kyle Walker-Peters was 12 million. Kyle Walker-Peters, and he was all right. I'd say he's the same sort of bracket as Joe Willock. That sort of like not good enough for their current club. Want to take a step
Joe
down.
Willock might come back and play for Arsenal. Who knows? I'm pretty sure he's one of the highest goal scoring midfielders in the league this season. I think it's like Gundogan, Bruno Fernandes, and maybe like De Bruyne have got more. But apart from that, no one's scoring as many goals as this guy. Oh, he's turned Newcastle around.
I don't know what's happening. Like he doesn't even start all the games. He's come on and got a couple of goals.
Exactly, he doesn't play for them. If he was that good, he'd start. He's got a good nose for goals. He'll come in, he'll he'll arrive into the box.
You underestimate the value of a goal scoring midfielder, especially a homegrown young goal scoring midfielder.
I think he's pretty much
Frank Lampard. He's Frank Lampard in Frank Lampard region.
I'm getting baited.
This is right. No, but Dele Alli is the perfect
Frank Lampard region.
player to compare. What is Dele Alli going for if Joe Willock's 35 million?
Dele Alli hasn't fucking played in the last 2 years.
But Dele Alli's a goal scoring midfielder, and he's
maybe
25.
3-4 years ago. Yeah, not now.
All right. So how much is Dele Alli then?
Right Dele Alli he's still probably like 20 million. He's still probably the same. He's still like over 20 million.
So is Joe Willock worth more than Dele Alli?
I'd say probably right now.
No,
Dele Alli's not playing.
He's not. But I don't even think. I think if we got 30 million for Dele Alli, we'd be incredibly lucky, and we'd be like, take it and go.
Yeah, it's the same with Joe Willock. You see,
Dele Alli scored. How many goals did Dele Alli score? How many goals did Joe Willock score?
Well, Dele Alli scored all his goals in 2016. That's 5 years ago.
He scored his goals the season before and the season after, and he's got a couple the season after that. So Dele Alli's got over 50 Premier League goals,
Wow.
and he's got the likes of
Listen.
PSG looking at him. Like,
Listen,
but
do you
they
know
didn't.
what?
But they offered a loan. They didn't off. All these clubs are going to offer loans, and if you get 20 million for Joe Willock, you'll get it a season later because they'll offer a loan with an obligation to buy. That's what's going to happen. 100%.
Yeah, maybe.
That's
Listen,
the market we're
I've
looking
had
at.
enough of talking about Joe Willock anyway. Talk about Man United now. What do you think? Gonna walk the final?
Yeah, I don't even think Villarreal were that good, to be honest with you.
No,
That's
they're not. They're
that's
not
the
at
sort
all.
of sad thing about Arsenal's performance. It was just the fact that Villarreal didn't have to be that great; they just had to be solid. Yeah, I think United will walk it, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Although they don't, maybe they do. I reckon 2-0. Maybe an own goal and a Fernandes penalty, something jammy.
I reckon Cavani will probably score. It might make it harder than it needs to be, though. They may go 1-0 down. You know they like doing that, don't they? So
I'd like to. That would be enjoyable.
I mean, it'd be funny if they lost, but I
Oh,
really,
it'd be
yeah,
brilliant.
can't
it would be
see it.
fantastic.
Like,
Listen, you never know, though. Could happen. Football's football, innit?
Bulls football.
No one
But
thought
they're not
Newcastle
winning.
were
Yeah.
going to get an equaliser against Liverpool, but Joe Willock did.
Why bring that up? That's so
Good old
unnecessary.
Joe Willock.
No, but Joe Willock.
Good old
did.
35 million pound Joe
Yeah,
Willock.
exactly.
Oh my
Just for that
God.
goal alone, he's worth 100 million.
Yeah.
Not being funny. Breaking your hearts.
Broke Tottenham's hearts as well. Scored against us. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big game player.
Maybe we're just salty.
And another 20 million on. Very big game player.
Yeah.
Oof.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it at the moment. There's nothing really else to be going on. So
Do you reckon we'll
just
get top 4?
Liverpool top 4? Yeah, I think you will.
Yeah. I mean, although those teams are like your kryptonite, those
Burnley,
sort of, I mean, we've
yeah.
seen it. We've seen it
Burnley
already.
and Palace.
Burnley
Just don't
and
play
Palace.
Divock Origi and you'll be all right.
Hodgson and Dyche.
He's our
like,
no Jota, so our backup for the front three is now Origi. That's not good enough, is it?
Yeah.
You can play that to City and Chelsea.
So quick one. Liverpool top 4. Who else? Leicester and Liverpool top 4. Is that what we're saying? Or Chelsea and Liverpool, or what?
Chelsea and Leicester. I think we'll bottle it.
I think. Yeah, Chelsea and Leicester. I don't know. I think
you think Liverpool are going to bottle it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those clubs just. I can smell a draw.
I reckon we'll beat Palace.
I think it'll be
as well
Chelsea and Liverpool. Because if Chelsea beat Leicester, you just need to win your game still, and you get it, don't you?
It goes down to goal difference then, but we should get goal difference, and also Leicester have to play Tottenham last day of the season, so they won't smash them. So we should, yeah. If we win both our games, we should get top 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Quick one. Champions League winner, Man City. Is everyone in agreement there? Europa League, Man United.
Yeah.
Where's Arsenal and Spurs going to finish this season?
I have literally no idea where you are.
6th, hopefully. Fingers crossed we get.
How far are you off top 4?
We're a point behind. No, are we a point behind you now?
Let's have a look. That's meant to feel like it.
Oh no, I think you're not. No, that was before. Yeah, that was before you played. Yeah, we're not getting top 4, but
6th. You think 6th?
If we can get Europa League and try and avoid that Conference League, I'll be happy.
Yeah. I think Arsenal are going to come 8th.
We've got Villa and obviously Leicester, so
it's 2 tough games.
But
we've got Brighton and Palace.
Europa Conference in 8th?
No, 7th. Just 7th, yeah.
No European football at all.
We got Brighton and Palace.
Yeah, I think it is.
Listen, it is totally plausible though that Spurs lose both their games and Arsenal win both theirs and they overtake them.
Yeah, I mean, I've supported Tottenham for many years. This sort of stuff happens, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if that happened.
Yeah, I mean, apart from that though, it's about it really. So I want to thank you all for watching. 100 subscribers, guys. Round of applause for that. Unbelievable. You know, it's we're
Shout
big
out to the
time now.
hundreds.
We're big time now.
Yeah.
Next stop, 100,000. Can't wait to get there.
Yeah.
Should be a couple weeks. You know, would be nice.
Pimples.
Yeah.
Should be long.
Anything
Champions
anyone wants to
League
say? Anyone want to ask any questions to the people? How much do the people
someone
think Joe
comment
Willock?
below and
First?
say Joe
How
Willock's
much do you think Joe
not
Willock
worth
is worth?
35 million?
Yeah,
Put-
fucking have a go.
Put
at
in the
me.
comments how much Joe
Please,
Willock's worth.
roast
And
him.
which you know what we're
Yeah.
gonna leave it at that. And thanks
Yeah.
everyone for watching. Thanks for our subscribers. And we'll see you soon.